Welcome back, Riverside City College. Today we're diving deep into the heart and mind of a good friend of mine, Demarius Carmichael, who's a part-time faculty in our business and law discipline here at Riverside City College, and he's a director and entrepreneur. So we'll learn more about that in a few. So Demarius, thanks for being here with us today.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks for having me.
I really, really appreciate it.
No
So
problem.
let's start by exploring your journey a bit further. What pivotal moments or experiences have you had in your life that shaped who you are today?
Okay, good question. So, Ajane, when I was in high school, after high school, I joined the military.
How old were you?
I was 17.
That's young.
That's young. So I graduated high school at 17, went into the U.S. Navy, and the reason...
Hold on for a second. Where'd you go to high school?
I went to high school at Carson High.
Carson. In Cali?
Southern California.
Serious?
Yes. Carson
How was
High
that
School.
experience?
It was good. I love Carson. Carson High was great. I had a great high school experience.
Yeah, I heard lots of good things about
Yeah,
Carson when I was in high
we
school.
had a great football team, by the way.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah. So after high school, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I was a first-gen college student, right? So I knew I wanted to go to college, but our family didn't have the money or the means for me to go to college. So I decided to follow my dad's footsteps and go into the military,
Oh, okay.
the U.S. Navy.
Okay.
So in the military, I was an aviation electronics technician.
What's that?
We work on electronics on jets and aircraft. I was stationed on an aircraft carrier, the USS Carl Vinson.
Wow.
So I was, stationed all over the United States. I went to boot camp in San Diego.
You did. So that's at Camp Pendleton.
Well, yeah, it's a base right next to Camp Pendleton.
Okay.
Camp Pendleton is a Marine Corps base,
Yes.
but yeah, right next to it. And so then I was stationed in Oak Harbor, Washington, and then we deployed to Desert Storm. So we went to Oman, Saudi Arabia, Oman. Very interesting experience, but the military taught me how to be very resilient, how to manage my time properly, and I love being in the military, actually.
So
But,
Demarius, those lessons that you
yeah.
learned, was that like training you went through or just experiences you had?
Well, it was the training, because the military trains you for everything,
Mhm.
right? That you have to be on time, you have to do your job properly, and in case of emergency situations. But I love being in the military. I mean, it was just an opportunity for me to just excel. And I was young; I was 17, so I was very impressionable at that time. So it taught me structure at a young age.
And that helped you both professionally and personally, didn't it?
Absolutely, absolutely.
So what happened after you left the military?
So after I left the military, I got out, I came back to Southern California, and I needed a job. I started working. So as I was working, and this is the pivotal point in my professional life. So as I was working at a job, a store called Home Base. It was very similar to Home Depot.
Yeah, I remember.
So I was promoted to the corporate office. Once I got to the corporate office, Ajane, I mean, my thought process changed.
What do you mean?
Because everyone there had a college degree. Everyone that was making good money, everyone that was in charge, all management, VPs, CEOs, all had college degrees. And here I am, fresh out of the military, 21 years old, no degree. I was still working, but to see myself move up, I needed to go back to college. And so at that point, I remember I went downstairs, I called an admissions rep.
Did you really?
And I was like, how do I get into college? Because I didn't have anybody in my family that went to college. So, it was the first gen. So
What college did you decide to go to?
So I went to community college first.
Did you?
I did.
Y'all hear that? He went to a community college
I went to
too,
community
like us.
college first.
That's beautiful.
I went to El Camino
You
Community
did?
College. Yes.
How was your community college experience?
It was great. I loved it. It was different for me because I worked full time during the day, and I went to community college at night. So it's very, very tough, and I had to manage my time properly.
So that's a good lesson right there. So
Yeah.
listen, like so many of our guests that visit us and have these conversations, they too had to work full time and go to school. So it's possible.
It is.
You just have to commit yourself to the task and use, I think use the word discipline.
Discipline, yes.
That's good.
Yes.
Wow. Okay. So we're going to hold there. I'm going to ask you a few more questions and we're going to come back.
Okay.
So in your many roles, you've undoubtedly faced a lot of challenges as well as opportunities every single day.
Yeah.
Can you share a recent hurdle that you had to overcome and how it shaped how you're moving forward?
Yeah, I mean, right now as a director of where I work.
And what do you do?
So I'm a director of community outreach, and I manage strategic partnerships with the college and clinics and rotation sites for our students there. A struggle of mine that I've had, I would say managing my work initiatives and my family life at the same time.
You're talking about balance?
Balancing my family and work life. It's a little tough
hard.
when you have certain initiatives at work and you have to, focus on those initiatives, and then you have your family life. Like I have a little girl, she's 9, and she needs time. And so I have to learn how to balance those two things.
Yeah, balance is something that comes up with almost everyone we interview.
Yeah.
And I'm sure students, you have to deal with that balance as well. So how do you do it? What do you do to make yourself at least feel centered when things are not balanced?
I listen to music.
Ah,
I try to focus a little bit.
music is good for the soul.
Music is good. I love music. And it really, I just jot down my goals. I have a to-do list, and I just knock it out.
That's good. That's good too. That's something else I don't think that we think enough about, y'all, is that we have to-do list, and we kind of try to do many things at the same time instead of focusing on one.
Yeah, multitasking is what they call it, right?
So do you regularly exercise? Do you meditate or anything like that?
I don't do that on a regular basis. I should do that more. I do walking. I walk a lot.
Good.
I walk a lot at lunch. Kind of clears my mind.
Yeah.
And I go right back into a project at work, or I'll try to listen to music.
Yeah.
I love music.
I'm with you. I put my headphones on. I walk around campus. And I just recently learned, they're like walking is better than running. Doesn't hurt your joints. It develops certain muscles in you. So actually walking is really good for us.
Yeah.
So that's something good. So y'all have learned a couple things. Music is good for the soul.
Yes, it is.
Walk, take regular breaks, one thing at a time on your checklist, your to-do list. All right. So on this show, we often talk about purpose and passion.
Okay.
What drives you to do what you do? And how do you stay connected to your purpose, especially in tough times?
Yeah, what drives me is I love to motivate people, and I love to be in spaces where I can give my experiences to young people, especially. And that's why I love teaching here at RCC. My student, it's a passion of mine. And so for me to give back, because I'm a first gen, I went to school. I know the struggles of going to a community college at night. And I teach at night, and I can see it. People are working during the day. They come in at night and they want to learn. So my purpose is really to give back. Give back. Yeah,
that's good. Did you? I'm gonna back up. So let's go back. You graduated from RCC from community college.
Yep.
And then you got your degree in what?
Business.
Then you transferred where?
I transferred to AIU in Chicago.
You went to Chicago. That's all. California to Chicago.
Yes.
Hot weather, cold weather.
Right.
How was that?
That was easy. I mean, it was 2 years. I knocked it out and came back to Southern California.
What made you choose Chicago?
It was a program I was interested in. A friend of mine went to that school. So I had someone close to me that knew about the school, and I decided to go there.
Really?
Yeah.
Had you been to Chicago prior to that?
I have not been to Chicago. I didn't go to Chicago before that.
No?
I didn't know.
I'm gone.
I'm out of here. I didn't have any kids. I didn't have anything holding me back
at the time.
So I just took off.
Was that scary?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, it was scary. So I stayed with him. I had a roommate, went to school for 2 years, and then headed on back.
Whoa. So another lesson, y'all. Sometimes we have to take risks.
We do.
Even when there's fear. And one of my philosophies, Demarius, is in order to be courageous, you have to understand fear. You have to. Yeah. So you stepped out into the unknown, went to a different state, and made it happen for 2 years. So what'd you major at there?
So business.
You did?
Business management.
Wow.
Operations, business management. And
Okay.
then decided I went back to work. So when I got my degree.
Your bachelor's degree.
When I got my bachelor's degree, when I went back, I actually got promoted. I applied for a job, and you needed a bachelor's degree to apply for this job. So that's one of my main goals, to finish college. I needed a bachelor's degree to apply for a certain role that I wanted.
Nice.
Yeah.
And what type of employment did you do at that time?
So I was a buyer for a retail company.
Really?
So I was a corporate office in Irvine. I was a retail buyer.
Was that fun?
That was a great job, actually. Being a retail buyer is great. It was great.
I'll bet you. Okay, so what made you decide to go back to school to get your MBA?
As I was, as I'm working, I decided that I love business. Business was great to me, but I wanted to move up more. And I decided later on in the future, maybe I would like to teach.
Oh.
And so I decided to go get my MBA.
Go ahead.
And I wanted to eventually maybe open my own business.
Okay,
So
we're going to go there. I want to hear more about that. But you mentioned, how long ago was this? How long ago when you started your MBA program?
2007.
So back in 2007, you were already feeling like, I think I may want to teach.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. Because, during in some capacity in my job, I was training folks anyway.
Okay.
So part of my job was to train certain managers, supervisors, leads. So I knew that I was good at speaking to people, motivating people. So I decided, eventually I may want to teach. Yeah.
Wow. That's good stuff. Okay, so let's talk about your entrepreneurial adventures.
Okay.
Because they're all adventures.
They are.
So tell us a little about that.
So I'm in the best fraternity known as Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity,
Yes.
Incorporated.
Yes.
And
We both are.
Many
of you know that.
We're fraternity brothers.
Yes.
And so I went to a conference, and the conference was in Houston. And so I saw all these vendors there, and you can, buy paraphernalia and things like that. And so I decided, I was a buyer for, many years.
Right.
And I know how to source products.
Yes, you do.
So I know what the cost of goods should be. I know what freight should be. And so I decided to say, okay, you know what? I like ties and bow ties. And so I got into the tie and bow tie business. So I started online, got an online presence. Used to go to like small little farmers markets. And then I went to a conference a couple years back. And it worked out. It's good.
Wow. So that's something I tell students all the time. If you're going to open a business, it should be something you have background in.
Yeah.
It helps.
That helps.
And your background fit right into this.
It fit right in. I knew how to source it. I knew what the cost was, how to look at costs, how to look at margins, profit and loss statements, things like that.
Oh yeah, come on. That's business. That's MBA
that's business,
stuff.
right.
I love it.
Right.
You would you mind sharing the name of your business?
Yes, it's called themailblueprint.com.
The Mail Blueprint.
Themailblueprint.com.
Okay, we'll put that in the link as well. So if you want to check his website out, you can.
Thank you.
Awesome. So as a leader in our community, you've likely encountered moments of self-doubt and uncertainty. How do you navigate those moments and find courage to lead with the passion and the tenacity that you have?
That's a great question. So you're always going to have self-doubt and uncertainty in many decisions that you make in business. Always going to have that. One thing I look to is my mentor or people in my family that I can talk to and trust. So if I'm having self-doubt, they just reassure me that you're smart, you're making the right decisions, go forward. If something happens, it happens. You learn from it and you move on. Mm-hmm. And so I've been fortunate to have mentors like yourself and other people and family members. And it really does help. I think everyone should have a mentor.
Oh, you need to say that again.
Everyone should get a mentor.
Yeah.
Every student should get a mentor. It could be someone you trust, a family friend, or a family member or a friend to help you through that.
That's good. I don't know if we put enough emphasis on personal mentorship and how important it is, especially for men, young men.
Definitely.
That's really good. Thank you. Okay, let's talk about resilience because we've said that word several times. Okay. Can you share a time when you were faced with adversity and how you bounced back, even stronger than how you started?
Yeah. So I remember some adversity in my life. Would have to be, I would have to say going to college for the first time. I think that I had some struggles with that.
And you were first gen, you said.
I was a first gen. So I didn't think that I could go to college. That was my mindset. I didn't know I could go to college.
Now, was that because of people in previous educational institutions who didn't encourage that in you?
Yes, I just feel like I was groomed to just be a worker bee.
Yeah. So was I.
And not to explore higher ed.
Me too.
Right? Just get out of high school, start working, and that's it.
Me too.
And the pivotal moment earlier we were talking about when I went and worked for a corporate office, I noticed that if I wanted to grow professionally and personally, then I needed to have some more education.
And that's something that angers me, because I think that, and share your thoughts. A lot of the individuals we get into who join us in our classrooms, they have a lot of self-doubt because of what society has told them what they can't do. And part of that is become a scholar, going to college.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know what we can do to help shed that. Maybe we need to start going into the high schools and talking to the high school kids. I'm not sure.
Definitely.
I had that same, in high school, I was not encouraged to go to college.
Same. I like I said, I didn't have mentors, or my family didn't go to college. My mom and dad did not go to college, and so because of that, I didn't have any guidance.
Yeah.
And that's what we need. So I think, like you're right, I think we should go into the high schools and make a bigger impact. And let people know, or the students know that, hey, there's opportunity here.
Can you say to our students, think about this, Demarius, would you be where you are today without education?
That's a great question. No, I would not be here today without education. Education does a few things for you, right? So you learn to work on projects with different folks. You learn different ways of handling problems. And it also helps you in your personal life too. So I think education is very pivotal in my life, and I think it would be very pivotal in your life. I think that it has given me opportunities I would not have. I would not be in certain conference room, boardrooms, if I didn't have my education.
Yeah, that's real. And from a financial perspective, from a life perspective, do you feel that education really opened doors in that way as well?
Absolutely, yeah. Like, for example, earlier, there's some positions I could not apply for unless I had a degree.
Yeah.
The position I have today, you have to have a master's, an MBA.
You have to have
You have to. So to apply for my position, you have to have a master's.
See?
So with that comes what? That comes larger salaries, more opportunities. So education is vital.
It is vital. So going back a little bit, I didn't ask where you earned your MBA from.
Same school, AIU.
You did.
But I did that one online because I was back in California.
That's good. I was about to say, you spent 4 years in Chicago.
No. Online. Online was great, but online was challenging.
Why?
Time management, and you had to turn in certain projects on Sundays at midnight. That was our deadline. And so, you really had to do the projects. And at the MBA level, you really have to dig into the details. It wasn't just, I can just procrastinate and do this at the last minute. You cannot do that with the MBA. And you have to maintain, as you know, a GPA of 3.0 or higher.
Always.
In your MBA, right? So,
yeah. MBA is a fantastic degree. I really encourage all of my students to get an MBA. They'll be encouraged to get other degrees. You all will be pressured, encouraged, kind of pushed into other areas because institutions want to increase their enrollment in those areas. But the best degree that you can get, as far as I'm concerned, to have establish yourself in corporate America is an MBA.
Definitely.
And a lot of people are afraid of that because of the math, the accounting.
Yes. There's a lot of accounting, statistics, things like that.
But it's doable.
But it's
right?
doable. It's doable.
Yeah, it's doable.
You get through it.
It's doable.
You get through it.
Okay, your insights and experiences are invaluable. I know your students in your classroom love hearing your stories too. What advice would you give to someone who's just starting their journey here at Riverside City College?
I'm gonna keep this short. There's a lot of advice I can give someone.
You don't have to give.
Starting out.
Short.
But I would say someone starting out, don't give up. That's the first thing I would say. Don't give up. It's going to be hard. It might be a little bit challenging, but also utilize all the resources you have at RCC. RCC has a lot of resources, and students should dive into those resources. So that's what I would say. Set a goal, and just attack the goal. One goal at a time. one objective at a time. Just handle those objectives and goals and just get it done. Complete the task.
Complete the task. And one of the tasks is getting through RCC.
Getting through RCC.
No matter what.
No matter what. If it takes you 3 years, 4 years, whatever, just get it done.
That's right. And for part-timers, you have to be realistic.
Right.
Especially if you have a family, you're going
Right.
to school at nighttime.
Right.
That's good. That's really good advice. I'm going to add to what he said. You've seen Demarius's face now. He's a resource for you. If you are on campus and you need guidance and support, you can look him up. You can email him through our website, through RCC server, and he'll get back to you. And if he doesn't have the answer, he's not afraid to ask people who can help you. So you have another resource.
That's right.
That's beautiful. Thank you.
I'm here to help.
So reflecting on your journey, what's one thing you wish you knew when you started out? Something you want to share to your younger self?
To my younger self.
Yeah.
Buy stock in my younger self. No.
Right. Oh, man.
But if I had to tell my younger self something about something in the future, I would say education. I would have not gone to the military and just went straight to college right after high school.
Really?
Absolutely.
Okay. So I'm just going to ask, because I've thought about that as well.
Yeah.
Would you had earned your bachelor's degree and then gone into the military as an officer and then continued your education?
That's a great question, because as you know, to become an officer in the military, you need a bachelor's degree.
Mm-hmm.
That's the minimum, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when I went in as an enlisted person, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So when I went in, I was like, how do you become an officer? Well, you need to finish your college. So if I had to do it all over again, I would go to college first. And then if I was still interested in the military, I would go into the military as an officer.
Much different environment for an officer.
Much different environment. Definitely much different environment.
Yeah.
But yeah, I probably would have done that.
Okay. That's good.
Yeah.
So here's my favorite question. If life is a soundtrack, what is the one song that represents you and why?
There's a lot of songs I love, Ajane, but if life was a soundtrack, this one song, Stronger by Kanye West.
Stronger.
Stronger
Yeah,
by
Stronger.
Kanye West. Yeah.
Why?
You know, the song talks about how when you face adversity, obstacles, be stronger, push through those obstacles. And it's really a motivating song. So if you can link the song down below,
we'll put a YouTube
link.
link.
It, yeah. Put a YouTube link. Stronger by Kanye West. It's nice.
So is that the song you put on in your headphones sometimes and you need to get yourself a little pumped up?
That's one of many. Yes.
I love it.
Yes.
I love it.
Thank you.
Okay, so this has been good. So in closing, what message or insight would you like to leave with our students? What do you hope they take away from today's conversation?
Okay. My message to the students at RCC would be to finish your education, because that will help propel you to where you want to go. I think that getting a mentor, building relationships would also help. But finish your education, one step at a time. Take your time. There's no rush. But complete your education.
That's good.
That's what I would say.
That's real good. Thank you. Thank you for being here today, sharing your wisdom, sharing your experiences, your challenges, and your journey. I think our students are going to really get a lot out of that.
Thank you.
So,
thank you for having me.
Of course. Yeah. I think I'm going to have you back with a few other men who work on campus, so we can have a conversation we're going to gear toward young men.
Okay.
All right. So until next time, Riverside City College, keep striving to achieve your goals, your purpose, and your greatness. See you soon.